Welcome back, Careblazer. I was recently invited to talk to a virtual support group. They had apparently been watching some of my videos and they invited me to attend one of their sessions. And it was such an honor to be a part and be able to talk with some Careblazers. And one Careblazer in particular really pulled on my heartstrings, and it was the very last question right before the time was coming to an end. And what he shared was that he sometimes finds himself struggling when he might be enjoying himself for a moment. He might be doing something enjoyable, like spending time with his grandkids or talking to his daughter. And then he has these moments where he thinks about his wife who's in a care facility, and it just brings on so much guilt and grief and sadness. And in those moments, he finds it really difficult to enjoy the moment he's currently in. So he asked this question basically about how do you still have joy in your life, knowing that your loved one with dementia can't also experience that joy. So if you've ever been in the position of maybe trying to do something nice for yourself or having one of those moments that you don't get very often where you have some joy, you have some pleasure, and then the guilt starts to creep in, or you start to think about your loved one and a lot of sadness comes over you, I think this video can help you. There are 3 specific tips to kind of help you through these difficult moments. Before I share those, I just want to welcome any new Careblazers. Welcome, you're watching Careblazers TV. This is the place where we talk about everything dementia. Every Sunday I post a new video. All you have to do is click the red subscribe button on your screen. It's totally free. And if you haven't already, I put together a Careblazer survival guide filled with all of my great tips and strategies to help you survive this dementia caregiving journey. That's for free and the link is below this video. All right, Careblazer, let's get started. So here are the 3 things I want you to try to practice the next time you might find yourself overwhelmed with some difficult emotion, when you find yourself enjoying something and then realizing your loved one can't join you in that experience. Number 1, recognize your emotions as normal. Sometimes when we experience guilt, grief, or sadness, we interpret that something has gone wrong. Your mind might want to think that because you're having these feelings, being able to enjoy your grandkids, being able to experience the joy of a walk alone, your brain might try to tell you something is wrong because your loved one can't join you in that experience. As a human being, and especially as a Careblazer, you're going to have emotions of sadness and guilt and grief and other types of really difficult emotions. Whenever we try to immediately push them away, they tend to hang around longer and tend to stay stronger. And whenever we start to use those feelings as an indication that whatever you're doing is wrong, it stops you from being able to fully enjoy the moment. So whenever this happens to you, acknowledge the emotion, maybe send a well thought to your loved one like, I really miss you right now, or man, I wish you could see this right now. Just remind yourself this is completely normal and it's an indication of just how much you care and love your loved one. It's an indication that perhaps you wish your loved one could experience that moment with you, or that they weren't going through the dementia process that they're going through. Number 2, continue to try to enjoy the moment that you're in. If I thought that suffering through all of your moments and denying yourself any type of pleasure would bring you joy, I would say, okay, maybe let's talk about this. Maybe let's talk about how we can keep some of these feelings around, right? But Careblazer, I really want you to hear this. In whatever moment, whatever you're doing, you allowing yourself to suffer through it because your loved one can't join you, it does not have an impact on your loved one. So for example, with this Careblazer, his loved one was in a care facility, and when he would experience some joy or pleasure for a moment, he would think about how his wife couldn't join him, and then he'd have this grief and he had a hard time finding joy in that moment from then on. But whether you fully stay in the joy, whether you find full pleasure in it, or whether you decide to feel guilty about it or feel sad about it, or suffer through it because your loved one can't be there, it makes no direct impact on your loved one. I really want you to hear that. This reminds me of a comment also that was recently left under one of my Instagram posts. This Careblazer said she was able to get an hour to herself where she could go on a walk while her mother was at home. But she was unable to enjoy that walk. For that whole hour, she felt guilty that her mom was home while she was out, I would say, enjoying this walk, but she really didn't even get to enjoy the walk. The whole time she felt guilty for doing so. But the thing is, she was out on that walk, and whether she felt guilty or whether she really tried to just enjoy as much of it as she could, that wasn't going to change the fact that her mother's at home. So I really want you to try to take advantage of the moments that you're getting for pleasure and joy, and realizing that whether you experience that in happiness or whether you experience that in guilt, it doesn't directly impact your loved one in that moment. And so in this third step, I'm going to share with you one way that you can try to help get yourself back on the track of enjoying the moment when the guilt and the grief and the sadness start to creep in. So in step 3, because it's totally normal to experience some of those emotions, and because you're going to realize, okay, me taking away the pleasure in this moment doesn't actually change the fact that my loved one's in a care facility or my loved one can't be here, what am I going to do to try to enjoy this moment to my fullest ability? So this is where I really want to talk about the concept of mindfulness, or being in the present moment. And here what you do is you try to engage as many of your senses as possible to fully immerse yourself back in the present moment. So for example, if you're with your grandkid and all of a sudden you think about your wife who is in the care facility, and this grief sets over you and you start to feel intense sadness, right? Acknowledge the feeling, realize it's normal, realize that in that moment you can't do anything to change the situation, and so you engage all your senses. Perhaps you listen to the sound your grandkids are making, right? Perhaps you feel the ground underneath your feet, or you can feel your grandkids' hands, or you can feel the chair that you're sitting on. Notice the sights that you're seeing, the colors all around you. Notice any sorts of smells in the air, right? The whole point is you're just trying to fully immerse yourself, because when you're fully in the present moment, it's really difficult to be in the past or the future. When you're in the present moment, you're in the present moment. And what might happen for you is that you might be able to get yourself in the present moment and hear the laughter of your grandkids, and, be able to feel your grandkids and be able to just enjoy that moment. And then your mind might go back, right? And that's okay. You realize it's normal and you just come right back at it. So no matter how many times your mind gets distracted, you come straight back into that present moment and you try to engage all your senses again. And the more you do this, the more natural it is. And I actually did a video in the past with an audio exercise to help you start to get more comfortable with this idea of mindfulness. There's a link below this video. You can download that for free and start to practice being in the present moment while you do some everyday things around the home, like maybe wash dishes or fold laundry. It'll help get you a feel for what being in the present moment really feels like. And also, I did a video on this idea of how living in the past or the future can really bring a lot of pain to you. So you can watch that video at the link below, or I'll link it up here too. You can just click on it. It'll take you to that video to watch. But I really hope you can start to practice these 3 steps whenever you feel that guilt, grief, or sadness creep in because your loved one is unable to enjoy the experience that you're trying to enjoy in that moment. Careblazer, I know for many of you, moments of joy or respite or a little bit of pleasure might come few and far between. I don't want you to miss out on those moments because you're thinking about how your loved one can't be there with you. Again, if I thought that would help in any way, I would say let's spend some time there. But it doesn't change the fact that your loved one can't be there with you. So I hope these 3 steps will help you work through. I know this is hard. I hope this video helps you in some small way. And If you find this kind of information helpful to you in any way, or you feel like you could use some more information and tools to help you lower your stress, lower your overwhelm, and work through feelings of guilt and other overwhelming emotions, you can click the wait list below this video to sign up to be notified the next time my care course is accepting new members. It's not accepting any new members right now, but you can sign up and I'll send you an alert as soon as it's opened. Again, Care Blazer, I'll be back next week with a new video. In the meantime, keep up the great work. Bye.